Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2454. Thank you very much for tuning in. August the 11th, 2025, 10:43 p.m. Monday Night Raw was over 13 minutes ago on Netflix, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. Huge note that taking place. The Women's World Title match between Noami and IYO SKY has been postponed because unfortunately Noami is not medically cleared to compete. So that causes a huge mess in the women's division. I will explain why that is. CM Punk kicks off Monday Night Raw, addresses the Quebec City crowd about what happened last week and what happened at SummerSlam, and he says he wants his rematch. LA Knight comes out and said, "Hey, you've interfered in my match last week. You cost me an opportunity. You did it on the right time, wrong place." He doesn't want any problems with him, and that's where it is. That's where it stands right now, at the moment. Then Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, collectively known as the Vision, along with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins wasn't with them, but Paul Heyman addressed Punk and Knight as the two that will take over in the future. That will be Big Bronson Reed, the owner of Shula Fala, the Tribal Thief, and Braun Breaker. And then Paul Heyman, tells LA Knight, don't trust CM Punk or else it's going to cost you everything. And he starts crying. And then all of a sudden, CM Punk is like, enough being a crybaby. How about this? You two against us in a tag match. And then Paul Heyman says, we'll accept it. We'll accept that challenge. And as they walk back, Braun Breaker was trying to go to the ring. Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman said, no. Wait till later tonight for the main event match. Meanwhile, the Judgment Day locker room in their clubhouse, Finn Balor and JD McDonough kept talking and consoling Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez about losing the women's tag team titles. You'll get them back. And then Dominic Mysterio walks in with El Grande Americano. And then Finn Balor goes over to him, "Hey, why'd you bring him here?" And he says, "Hey, listen, I'm going to use my advantage because this coming Saturday, the AAA Megas Championship on the line. Hijo del Vikingo will defend that title against El Grande Americano, Dragon Lee, and Dominic Mysterio. I'm surprised Dominic Mysterio decided not to put up his Intercontinental title. I think Dominic Mysterio should be man enough to put that title up. But, nope, he wants more titles. So there's that. In fact, it leads to a tag match. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee took on Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano. Now, just to hold up a second here, the beautiful thing, I think, sometimes, the old saying is, in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. Now, the dark cloud is, I am taking a temporary I'm taking a monthly sabbatical from Raw Live Reactions, Rant and Rave, and Chillin' Majority. You know what the beautiful thing about that part was? And here's the silver lining. I don't have to worry about anybody objecting to me about what they say about who I think El Grande Americano. Excuse me, El Grande Americano is. That means I can say whatever the heck I want. I get arguments from nobody around here, which is great. So guess what? I know Chad Gable was the original El Grande Americano. Ludwig Kaiser is the second El Grande Americano. And those two masked idiots that came last week, who probably El Grande Americano 3 and 4, they got to be the new Catch Republic. And here's my idea: unmask all four of these guys, and let Chad. If I were Chad Gable, have the Creeds and Ivy Nile form American made. Have Chad Gable form up like an allied Imperium with Ludwig Kaiser and the new Catch Republic. We haven't seen Tyler Bate in a while. We haven't seen Pete Dunne in a while. So that's the conclusion I can come up with. So why not get those four men together and form a new group, like a new Imperium. An Imperium that is goal driven. You know, thinking about it, it's like an international Imperium. We got Gable representing the States, Kaiser representing Germany, and both Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate representing England. Why the heck not? A new League of Nations. There you go. That's what I say. Forget the El Grande Americano crap. We're sick of it. I'm sick of it. Chad Gable should be unmasked. Ludwig Kaiser should be unmasked. And the new Cash Republic should be unmasked. That's right. This El Grande Americano stinks, man. I'm telling you. I don't care what anybody out there says. El Grande Americano is Chad Gable, Ludwig Kaiser, and those two other idiots. The new Cash Republic, which I'm disappointed in Tyler Bate for that. Pete Dunne knows how to break rules. But Tyler Bate, I'm sad. I'm sad. I'm sad. And the Sami Zayn was talking to Adam Pearce about getting a world title shot. He said, hey, listen, deal with Sheamus. Deal with Rusev first, then we'll talk. And then Sheamus interrupts, and then Adam Pearce says this has to end, and Sami Zayn goes, you know what, I'm glad you're here. Stay out of my match with Rusev. It means a lot to me. And Sheamus goes, okay, but after the match, Rusev's mine. Sami Zayn understands. And then Adam Pearce has been a busy man. He's been a busy man. IYO SKY was talking to Adam Pearce, as I understand. But, and so as they were talking, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez interrupted them and said, hey, we want an opportunity. And then all of a sudden, Adam Pearce had an idea. He said, I'll tell you what, Roxanne Perez, IYO SKY. And IYO SKY goes, I'll see you tonight. Sami Zayn went one-on-one with Rusev, and the match was going good, but the MFTs got involved in this matchup, attacking Sami Zayn, giving Sami Zayn the victory by disqualification as Rusev tries to escape. Sheamus gives him a bro kick, and both men brawl to the back while referees and officials chase the two to separate them. And then after the commercial break, Adam Pearce was getting stressed out left and right, man. MFT was kicked out Monday Night Raw. Referee Danilo said, hey, we separated Rusev and Sheamus. Says, can you go and make sure that happens, please? And then New Day Grayson Waller's crying about Penta. And, and I'm like, you took my hat, a little sombrero, it's a hat. And he goes, you got a problem with that? You can face Penta next week. How's that? Hey, Xavier Woods, quit being a crybaby. And Grayson Waller, don't be a dummy. And Kofi, don't be a crybaby too. You're talking about the new crybabies. That's what they are. The crybaby club. Oh boy, I can't wait to make this list of wrestlers I can't stand. I can't wait. Anyways, Bronson Reed addresses Roman Reigns. Hey, Bronson, I think you owe Roman Reigns 2 new pairs of shoes. Give them back. You big galoot. And then IYO SKY talks to the Kabuki Warriors before a match, and she asks them, if you stay in this match, I got this. And they say, you got this. But there was some tension between her and Asuka early on. So they had their match. IYO SKY and Roxanne Perez had their match with Raquel Rodriguez, and the Kabuki Warriors got involved, but a misfiring. But when IYO SKY was shoved into the Kabuki Warriors, knocking them off, Roxanne Perez grabbed the tights. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez wins. And then Jackie Redmond interviewed Jey Uso. Jey Uso won his title. His receipts are coming. And then LA Knight says, hey, Seth Rollins is mine. So there's that. Sky was upset with the Kabuki Warriors, and then there was a lot of tension. And then both Asuka and Io pushed each other, and Asuka walked away angry. And Kyrie does not know, because Kyrie's looked up to Asuka as a good friend, and Kyrie and Io were best friends since their NXT days, since their team, and then walking away. I think Damage Control is definitely over, but their friendship's falling apart. I think Io and Asuka could be down the road. It could be at Clash in Paris. Who knows? But then we got the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky Lynch against Maxxine Dupri after Natalya challenges her. And Becky Lynch, man, I used to respect her. I used to like Becky Lynch, but come on, Becky. Bex, if you're in the Women's Intercontinental Champion, you better act like instead of fighting, instead of handpicking your opponents. You know what? And there's one person I want to see shut Becky up. And she's from NXT. And I think she deserves a shot. And I say, draft her to Monday Night Raw, Anna Pierce. I want to see this woman get a shot and beat up on Becky, and that woman is Zarya. I want to see Zarya shut up Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch wants to run her mouth. She disrespects Nikki Bella last week. And then she causes the friction between Bayley and Rhea Ripley to grow even worse, because Bayley's ready to snap, and I will explain that. And so Maxxine Dupri showed a little bit of her stuff, but in the end, Becky Lynch did retain the title. And as Natalya and Akira Tozawa was checking up on Maxxine Dupri, Becky Lynch attacked Natalya from behind. I'm hoping Natty comes out to play on this one. Have you seen Natalya outside the WWE wrestling? The fight against Masha Slamovich? If I were Becky Lynch, I better watch out. Because if Natalya's not going to be the one to shut Becky up, bring up Zarya, let Zarya destroy Becky Lynch, and walk out Women's Intercontinental Champion. I want Zarya as the next Women's Intercontinental Champion, man. Just as Rollins talks to the rest of his Vision crew. He says, I'm going away for the night. I'll see you guys. You guys got this. And then Bayley addresses her current situation, and then you see everything gets dark and some crazy, weird noises come out. Is Bayley tapped into a darker side of herself? We'll see. We shall see. And then Jackie Redmond interviewed live with Akira about this, and she goes, I don't know if I caused that, but I said what I said, and I'm going to stand on it. So there's that. Stephanie Akira and Rhea Ripley tried to console Io, and Io was like, when Rhea Ripley brought up the Kabuki Warriors, Io goes, I know what you're trying to do, but Io walks away, speaking in Japanese, being frustrated. I don't blame her. And then CM Punk and LA Knight went up against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker of the Division. And then during that matchup, Seth Rollins attacks during the matchup and gets his team disqualified. Jey Uso helps out with a steel chair, but then knocking people. But then Adam Pearce came out and said, "You know something, Seth Rollins? I'm not going to get mad. I can get even. And here's how I'm going to do it. You defend your title against Jey Uso, against LA Knight, and against CM Punk. Fatal 4-Way at Clash in Paris. That match is happening. But then Punk and Knight started arguing, and they started brawling. And then Jey Uso pulls Knight off of a Punk, and Knight and Uso went at it. But then the Division saw that as an opportunity and attacked all three men, and then the Division stood tall in the middle of that ring. Well, it seems like to me, that Clash in Paris is going to get a whole lot of nut here. We only got, 20 days left until Clash in Paris, so there's that. Well, that is all the time that we have on this episode, 2054 of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this right. So, tomorrow we got High Rollers, and I believe I'm going to do my live stream again and talk about, I'm going to try to get away from talk about what happened at the beginning of August, or I'm going to try to. So, I know it's not going to be easy, so there's that. So, I am going to leave you guys now for the rest of the night. I'm going to go get some sleep. So, I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful night. And also, tomorrow we got High Rollers, we got NXT, all good stuff happening. Thank you for tuning in to my show once again. Thank you. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with A Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.